Yo, what's good with y'all, man? How is y'all doing today, man? How y'all feeling right now, man? Look, welcome to day one. Welcome to day one. Welcome to day one. Welcome to day one of the reaction marathon. Didn't I tell y'all thought I was lying about this? No, I wasn't playing. We was dead serious. So look, man. This is currently day one. You feel me? Like I said, man, 2 to 3 videos a day, man. So hopefully I had a good day today, man. I promise you, man. I couldn't wait. Today was a busy day for me, man. I couldn't wait to get back to the crib to record these videos for y'all. Even though it's only a couple of y'all, I still been waiting to get home and come and record these videos, man. Like, I like doing this. You feel me? I don't care if it's just 20 of y'all. Whatever the case may be. We gonna get there, you feel me? We ain't worried about that. I enjoy doing it, you feel me? All that's gonna come with it. You feel me? Now, shout out to all the people that is supporting me. The 20 of y'all that is on here. I love y'all. I really appreciate it. I promise you. Anyway, man. Hold on. Y'all been letting me talk this long. Y'all ain't hit the subscribe button. You gonna give y'all 2 seconds to subscribe. I'll wait. Y'all subscribe yet? Did y'all hit the like button? Did y'all hit the like button yet? Alright, man, look, if you real, go ahead and hit that like button, man. Hopefully y'all enjoy the video. Stay to the end, man. If I make y'all laugh, y'all already know the routine, man. Go ahead and leave me a like, share. Alright, let's jump into this video, man.
He gets his inheritance this afternoon. That's why we're moving. We're gonna pay all our bills off that we need to pay off, and then take a long vacation.
Less than 24 hours from
Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Moose nose out. I promise you, man. I don't like her already. I know she did something crazy. Look at her nose.
Ina Thea Knoyer's husband.
Wow, look at the husband.
Steve Riley.
He ain't no better.
Flighted to the hospital
due
to a sudden
sickness
sickness that immobilized his body. Within an hour of being at the hospital, he would pass away.
Wow.
I thought everybody knew. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
What the cop
Man,
doesn't
shut up. Look at them feet.
realize at this time
Ew.
is that Ina is a very good actor, and
she ugly.
she knows far more about Steve's sickness than she leads on. You see, Steve...
Hey, R.I.P. Steve. If I couldn't find a better picture of this man, come on, man. Come on, I couldn't find a better picture.
Less than an hour away from cashing in a $37 million inheritance payment when he became fatally ill.
Oh, 37 M's.
And as the multi-week
Where was he inheriting that from? The president? Yo!
progress, detectives would quickly discover that Steve's death was due to poisoning. Someone
Wow.
had
Oh my goodness, it just keep getting worse for her. Look at her. Look at her. She ugly. Look at that. Ugh. She like the bottom of my foot. Nasty. The bottom of my shoe. She like some. Ugh.
killed him, and everyone close to Steve
Wow.
all had dire needs to claim his newfound fortune by any means
Oh my goodness. It just keep getting better. Y'all just got a group of ugly people and y'all from ain't nobody good looking.
It was like,
Look at this man. My man got a whole flight wrap on his head.
Not paper money that grows weaker by the second.
20-something million. Best thing you can do is get on a plane.
Shut up. You sound like you ain't got no teeth. I'll knock you
Look
out.
back.
Police department! It's the police department, it's not Chad!
This body cam was recorded the night before Steve Riley's death.
Okay.
Steve and Ina's drunken neighbor had been harassing them and other residents of the neighborhood, so Ina called 911 to de-escalate the situation.
Okay.
What makes this specific footage interesting is not the situation with their drunken neighbor, but rather what Ina would tell police after. Her $37 million inheritance fund that she's just hours away from cashing in.
Sorry.
So why would you kill him? Like, did you want it all for yourself? Like, why would y'all do that to that man? That's 37 million. That's enough for everybody.
Who was
He's
Chad on?
trying to kick in everybody's door.
Who was he
He
on here fighting?
busted to my light. Look at the garbage cans.
Who was he fighting with?
My fiance. He went for a walk.
Who won?
Who's your fiance?
Who won the fight? Let's see the video of that.
Steve Riley?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your name?
I'm Ina.
Okay.
Ina.
Fiance hurt at all?
He got gash on his forehead.
Oh, the homie Steve got beat up.
We just want to talk with him too, just to make sure he's all right if possible. There's blood all the way over there. That's good. So what actually happened tonight? What were they fighting over?
Chad was trying to kick in the door.
Just for no reason, or just
drunk. He does that.
where
Drunk.
do you think your fiance would have went? So we could just get his side of the story real quick.
Oh, I don't know.
So you got a phone on?
No, we don't have a phone until this afternoon.
But this is
I ain't got a phone.
something she shouldn't have. Their plans to pay off all of their bills, which had over the years been racking up. And she does this for one reason: to brag.
He gets his inheritance this afternoon. That's why we're moving. We're gonna pay all our bills off that we need to pay off. His lawyer gets here today at 2.
She look like she been waiting for this her whole life.
Okay.
And then he's gonna go pay that. And his lawyer gonna pay the rest of his child support. And then take a long vacation.
Why you keep
According to Ina, Steve is set to
Ina. Look at you. You just something else, huh? You just one ugly person. I promise you, man, I don't like you. You had something to do with this man's death, so we own you the whole video. We not letting up on you the whole video.
receive an inheritance
I don't
from
like
his late
you.
uncle
Look at
tomorrow,
you.
which supposedly is
Muffin
enough
knows-
to
no, I'm
turn their
playing.
lives around completely. What police
I'm not
don't
just playing, but
realize
I
at
ain't gonna
this
say all
time
that.
is how enormous this inheritance sum really
My
is.
man was finna get 37 M's.
In
Come on now.
2016, Steve's friend had received a call from a man named Marcus Riley, who claimed to be Steve's long-lost uncle from Ireland.
Okay.
He had explained that he finally wanted to get in touch with his nephew, Steve. After connecting with each other, Steve had learned he was in line to receive an inheritance upon his uncle's passing, which was a sum of over $17 million at the time. This was enough to permanently fix the financial struggles he and Ina had been dealing with. A couple of years later, 4 months prior to the footage you just watched, Steve would learn of his uncle's passing from a British lawyer who had contacted him. Additionally, he would learn that his $17 million inheritance had grown to over $30 million due to his uncle's successful investments over the years.
Ah, what did his uncle do? Oh man, uncle was eating. He was getting to that chicken.
That's why Ina cannot hold herself from boasting to the police. Tomorrow, they plan to meet with their lawyer
Why she boasting like it's her money? I understand you wifey and all, you feel me, but he ain't even out there talking about his money. Why you talk about his money
to
so much?
officially sign the documents and claim the $30 million inheritance fund. The two plan to take the money and live with Steve's long-lost family in Ireland, quote, living in the castles. In less than 24 hours, Ina will be
If y'all
rich.
wonder what I'm looking at,
So
man, I'm
as
over here
officers
looking
leave
at my
for the
other
night,
screen, trying to make
Ina
sure my,
would
you
make
feel me,
one
everything look
final
cool.
statement about how her life was about to change forever.
If you want to step back inside, and then if Steve shows back up, we're going to try to look for him to get his side of the story as well. But if Steve shows back up, if you just want to give us a call or have him give us a call, we'll talk to him then, okay?
Yeah, he's gonna stop by anyways, like I said.
Sounds good.
I've only been able to put like $5 on his fines, but at least it was something.
Okay,
But-
sounds good.
We're gonna pay it all off, all at once.
Why does she keep talking about that? Like, that's
Steve would
irrelevant.
return to his and Ina's apartment that night, and the two would patiently wait, not being able to sleep.
Man, what would y'all do if y'all knew y'all was gonna get 37 million the next day? What would y'all do? Because I know I wouldn't be asleep. I wouldn't argue with nobody. I wouldn't even. I'm nice. You feel me? I'm dapping up my neighbor about 4 times. I done dapped you up about 7 times in the last hour. That's how happy I am.
As they counted down the hours until they would receive their millions.
Why do they keep saying? Okay, look, that is his wife. You feel me? I ain't even gonna get into
Plan
that.
to receive the funds was simple. At 2 p.m., the group would go to the airport to meet their lawyer, who was flying in with their inheritance paperwork. Ina and Steve obliged and would arrive at the airport alongside their two friends, Billy and Wes, before patiently waiting.
Like, listen. Who is Billy and Wes? Why are they in on this? Like, come on now.
However, while they were waiting for the lawyer's arrival, Steve would become extremely sick. He would claim feeling drunk, even throwing up in the airport bathrooms. His heart rate was rapidly increasing, and his condition worsened to the point where Wes decided to take him home to help him treat his sickness. Ina would wait at the airport for the lawyer to arrive. However, he would never show up. And after a couple of hours with no lawyer, no money, and a sick fiancé, she would return home as well. Everyone believed that Steve had suffered from a heat stroke as a result of working on his truck for hours that morning. But Steve's symptoms were far more fatal than the heat strokes he had received in the past, even experiencing fatal signs of kidney failure throughout the night. And in the morning, Steve would become completely unresponsive, forcing Ina to call 911.
911,
What?
Your emergency?
My husband's really sick. He got heat stroke yesterday, and now he's not waking up. And come on, wake up!
Like, listen to how she sound, bro. She don't even sound like in distress or nothing. Like, she really just sound like, come on now, like, that would have stood out to me.
I don't have a phone number.
I hate when these operators do that. Send the troopers to the house. Stop asking so many questions. Y'all know y'all can track right now. If y'all dial 911 on your phone right now, it answer, y'all hurry up and hang up. They can call that number back. They gonna know where you at just by that phone number. They gonna know your address. So I don't get why they do this. She know the address. I mean, my fault. She know the phone number she on. Why you asking all that?
It's a phone that never got finished.
This was me.
Alright, come on, I don't like when they do that. I don't.
On YouTube and getting less views than normal.
I promise you, if y'all call the police right now and hang up, or whatever the case may be, they will call you back. They will even pull up to your residence because they can tell all that just from by you calling that little. That's why I don't get this. Look how she
We're
sound.
trying everything. Ice, water.
Okay, but he is breathing.
Yes. He's snoring. He won't talk to me anymore. He won't look at me. He won't open his eyes.
Okay,
Hey!
I've got help on the way. Just keep an eye on his breathing, and if anything changes with his breathing, tell me immediately.
Hello?
Damn heavy footed ass.
It's Officer Sullivan, Minot PD.
Mine not. Where they at?
Inside the home, officers would find Steve fully unresponsive, and they would drag him out of the house through piles of trash and filth.
Wow.
Quickly, he was rushed to the nearest hospital, but with his condition so poor, he would be flown to the St. Alexis Hospital to undergo more professional treatment. But before we get to that, I want to help you. That's exactly data breach open will involve petty thieves and unstated illness.
Come on.
I would explain to the officers that Steve had gotten a heat stroke.
Oh, look
which
at
caused
that
his
bill.
illness.
Oh my goodness.
The officers had no reason not
Why
to
is he hitting
believe
that?
her story, so they would comfort her throughout the day as Steve was being treated. Unfortunately, Steve would never again regain consciousness.
Wow, my man didn't even get to spend $1 of that money.
This is Billy Burkhead, Steve and Ina's neighbor, and he was with Steve and Ina the entire day of his sudden sickness, even working on the truck with Steve and traveling with them to the airport. Billy simply refused to believe that Steve's death was caused by heat stroke, especially since Steve seemed perfectly fine all day until they reached the airport.
Okay, so Billy on his
Instead,
side.
Billy suspected something far more sinister and wanted to share his theory with the detectives. So, the day after Steve's death, Billy would call officers back to apartment 912A to detail his side of the story.
We think she poisoned him. Oh, I'm almost sure she poisoned him.
So what's your plan right now?
We're making sure nothing goes. Because you know when they go to jail, they die.
I mean,
People come and clean
well,
them out.
how long are you going to stay here?
stay here until his son gets here.
Oh. When's the son supposed to get here?
He's not dead. I told you.
Stop!
He's not.
He's dead.
Wow.
And he was poisoned.
He's
Billy's
dead.
explanation for Steve's death is, well, horrifying. If Ina truly did poison Steve, then his symptoms would make sense.
Wow,
And
that's
would
crazy,
add up
Ina.
Far more than the idea of him having a heat stroke. However, why would Ina want to poison her husband
Right.
if they were about to live such a good life?
That's my thing. Like, was she that greedy? She wanted all the money to herself? Why did she have to kill that man?
Well, Billy...
My man was about to get $37 million. At their age, they was gonna be able to live comfortable for the rest of their life. They was good. They didn't have to worry about nothing.
to have the exact answer to that question.
The other day, she threw all the stuff out in the yard.
From his house?
Yeah, and he come out and he was holding his head down. And then we're supposed to go up to the airport and meet this guy because he's supposed to get quite a bit of money. Come back, we had to help him out of the car, had to help him in the house. And everything was fine until he come home. And then the next morning, she's throwing all this stuff out. She was supposed to call the ambulance. She never called the ambulance.
Billy thinks that Ina was secretly planning to split with Steve after the inheritance was received, even going so far as to throw his belongings out of the house after they returned from the airport. Even worse is that Ina lied about getting help for Steve after they returned from the airport, pretending to take him to get treated, when in reality, they never left the house.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Ina overheard all of this talk and decided to give Billy a piece of her own mind.
Oh yeah, let's hear what she got. Big muffin top. Let's see what she got.
I'm not worthy of violence.
Don't start crying. Don't start crying.
Hey, stay out here. Hey, stay out here.
I need to take a picture.
Picture of what?
Billy.
Why
Here,
why
let's try.
Oh, you can sit over here.
I don't like you. Shut up. We don't care what you got to say.
Collapsed yesterday.
Looking like Nanny McPhee.
I found out it was poisoned.
How'd you find that out?
Doctor told me. I'm just telling you, son, don't ever stop after doing.
Why she? I'm sorry for pausing the video, but look, I got a lot to say. Why does she sound like she not really concerned?
Nasty people. They're nasty.
Ina
You're
coincidentally
nasty.
seemed to put the blame on the neighbors, calling them evil people. It's become more clear that Steve's death was far more sinister than officers had first expected. Officers now had a potential homicide case to investigate, but as they went to leave,
Look at him.
one officer accidentally broke the news to Ina that her fiancé had passed away.
You're gonna fake crying.
I thought everybody knew. I'm sorry.
Man, shut up. This acting worse than Tubi. Shut up. We see right through that. We see, man, you not fooling nobody. Shut up.
I guess the son is on his way here. Okay.
Look at that.
Apparently
She
the son's on the
lying.
way here. So,
Somebody need to knock her out, kick her right in her face, and spit on her. I don't like her.
Ina's reaction to her husband's passing is one of the strangest I've ever seen.
That's what I'm
She
saying.
starts bawling her eyes out, then suddenly jumps right back to her normal self.
Somebody should have
As if
kicked
she
her in her
hadn't even heard the
face.
terrible news to begin with. It's becoming more and more clear that something is not adding up. Billy was not the only person to initially put the blame on Ina. In fact,
Okay.
he was only one of many who would come forward with their concerns. In fact, Billy's wife,
So
Lynn,
my man
had
Steve's
stated
son gonna get
Ina
that
had
chicken.
made horrifying statements in the past, alluding that if she was to ever kill her partner, she would poison him using an antifreeze.
Wow. That's crazy, yo. That is crazy.
EVE Online is a
To add to the pile of already incriminating information, Steve would be tested for ethylene glycol in his bloodstream, a key ingredient in antifreeze. To nobody's surprise, the results showed toxic levels of ethylene glycol in his system.
Wow.
This information would serve as the
Man, come on, man. Why y'all keep doing this, man, like this? My man got on a wig.
catalyst for
Come on, man, looking like a Barbie doll.
initiating a formal homicide investigation.
A beat-up Barbie doll
into
at
the
that.
death of Steve Riley. Following the commencement of the investigation, a series of intensive interrogations would be conducted.
I ain't gonna lie, Billy, you ugly as hell. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
All parties connected to the incident.
My man got a beamer on his
including
head.
Ina, to ultimately
Look at her, she even ugly.
Steve's murder. However, before that, Ina would launch a plan of her own. It must have been made apparent to her that she was in hot water, as the day after this encounter with the police, she would call them back to apartment 912A to explain theories of her own.
Hi.
Yeah. He came up.
Okay, what's going on?
I don't know.
We've been here.
He keeps trying to take Steve's truck
Where's the truck at?
in the garage.
Is this the paperwork on the thing? Or?
No. This is property that Steve was buying after his inheritance got here. I think he left it to his son, but I had to Google where to go to get his inheritance switched over to the people he left it to. I don't know.
But my thing is, why is she so heavily concerned about this man's money? That's the biggest red flag. I already knew she was in it for the win when the video first started, man. You like, why is she so like? Let everybody else figure that out. Your husband just died.
Was he stroke? Apparently he was poisoned. I'm finding out with antifreeze.
All right.
And I don't know how to get a hold of the guy in London with his inheritance. He should be here in town. He never showed up at the airport. So, trying to figure out why.
Ina seems to
Like,
conspire
come on
to the
now.
idea that Steve may have drank the antifreeze
Like-
himself, or that someone may have poisoned him. However, despite all the suspicion being thrown her way, she can only stay on track for minutes before going back on tangents about her inheritance fund.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
clear at this point that somebody had poisoned Steve. The idea of this being self-inflicted was unlikely, as Steve had a life-changing amount of money waiting for him, and would have had to drink the antifreeze just hours before going to claim the cash. Clearly, Ina can be made out as the lead suspect due to the amount of fingers being pointed her way. But the other potential
Yeah, 'cause how
suspects
ugly
should
she
not be
is.
ruled out either. With this in mind, officers would bring their first suspect in for questioning, Rebecca. Rebecca was another neighbor of Ina and Steve's, who was very involved with the entire case so far, pitching her opinion to police whenever she could. Rebecca was brought in primarily to add to the pile of evidence to confront Ina with later. But as the interview would continue, strange red flags would arise from Rebecca's odd personality.
Man, show us Rebecca.
My daughter.
Yeah, how's she doing?
Yesterday, God works in mysterious ways. She was arrested, released. She said, this is, the demons that are in her, the spirits that follow her, was able to change her butt cheeks.
What?
So maybe they'll stop following her now, she said.
Change her butt.
Hopefully she gets the help she needs.
I pray she does.
Starting off a homicide interview explaining how demons left your daughter's butt is an interesting way of proving your innocence. But the detective isn't here to judge, rather, to get to the bottom of Steve's death. So he'll ignore these strange remarks.
It sounds like you might know some things.
I'm a nosy neighbor.
It's good. I like
Clearly.
it.
Well, I know,
That's not good, man. Mind your business, man. Mind your business. It is not okay to be nosy. Leave people alone. Worry about you, your own, and mind your business. Mind your business, you'll live longer.
Because don't.
That's what's wrong with people, that they can't mind their
Who
business.
lives in my neighborhood, who doesn't?
Yeah.
So yes.
That's good. We're investigating Steve's passing just because it sounds like maybe there's something
Yeah, I tell
suspicious
you
about
all
what
I
happened.
know, whatever
Yeah.
I know.
How long have Steve and Ina lived there that you know of?
Approximately 2 years.
Okay. How was their relationship that you know?
The first year was, Steve was looking great, doing great. The past year, I don't know if she suffers from mental illness at times.
She look crazy.
But her mental state went downhill the past year.
Yeah, she do look
You
crazy.
lose weight when you're not acting right, shady stuff going on, you're not working. Yes, he was.
We know she not working.
And it got worse the past couple months.
It seems as though Steve's life wasn't as straightforward as initially thought, having drug issues, weight loss, and possibly depression. Whether or not Ina was a large contributor to these
Man, I can't get past how she look, man. She is so ugly. I cannot get past that.
Deteriorating issues is
look, I ain't
something
even
they
want
will
to judge,
soon
but I
learn,
just
as
don't
this
like
interview
you.
would
I
become
don't like
a
you.
pivotal piece of evidence.
Somebody to knock
laying
you
the
out.
groundwork to dismantle her defense entirely during the interrogation.
You said it got worse the past couple months.
You think likely that seems
Probably.
like whatever. Okay.
Yes.
What do you think she was using?
Yeah.
Okay.
And alcohol use too.
Okay.
Yes.
Both of them with
Yes.
alcohol? Okay. So Steve had mentioned before, like in the past, about getting money.
Yes.
How many? Like
$2 million.
The amount Steve had planned to receive was something he kept very secret, often lying to people like Rebecca on how much he was actually.
Why is he even telling people in the first place? I don't gotta tell nobody. I don't even gotta tell my own wife if I don't feel like I need to. Like, come on, now, I wouldn't have told you nothing. I would have been like, zero. I ain't getting no money. You wouldn't even know I was getting no money.
This number was much, much larger than $2 million.
One of his
His uncle passed away. Yes. First, he said he was going to leave it to Ina, and then they were fighting. And a couple months later, he said he went back and changed the will. He told me, he was like, don't tell Ina, but I changed it.
This statement from Rebecca.
Why are they
would explain
so
what
in
Ina was
tune
talking
though?
about
Like,
last time she spoke
come
to
on now, y'all
police.
be this cool with y'all neighbors? Y'all be this cool with y'all neighbors? Y'all cool enough to tell y'all neighbors y'all about to get a lump sum of some millions? Y'all cool with y'all neighbors like that? That's a little weird if you ask me.
To switch the will over from Steve's son to herself.
I ain't even gonna tell my own mother I'm about to get 37 million. You think I'm gonna tell my neighbor? Crazy.
If Ina discovered his plan, it would have given her a strong incentive to do whatever it took to change the will back in her favor, possibly by any means necessary.
Because it started 5 months, and he told me, yeah, I got a will. I'm leaving everything to Ina if something happens. And then it seemed like 2 months after that, he's like, that ain't getting nothing.
Oh!
Because she's a bitch.
Okay.
Oh!
Yep. That's how yeah.
Was he ever talking about leaving Ina?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna get this money and leave her, get my own place, go back to California.
Okay.
I met her son last night.
Oh, okay. Her son came?
No, I'm sorry, his son. Steve's son.
Yeah.
I'm all.
That's okay.
He flew in. He came up to my apartment. But as he's leaving, she came up, knocked on my door.
When he was up?
Yeah,
Okay.
to get him. I think she was nervous. It was like she was pissed he was up there. And then she's like, I just want to let you know I found the will papers.
So she said in front of you, though, that she found will papers?
Yes. Yep.
Ina clearly had become obsessed with the idea that she was about to live the life of her dreams with Steve's inheritance. But after rumors of Steve leaving her, it seems Ina became terrified that she might not receive the funds and would be stuck with her depressive living conditions.
Crazy.
It's now become obvious how these events and Steve's
You look whooped.
could be correlated to one another. However, as Rebecca had stated herself, she was a nosy neighbor, looking for any rumors or conspiracy theories to help solve the neighborhood drama. I've also cut out over 40 minutes of completely false information Rebecca gave to detectives, which certainly doesn't add to her authenticity. In order to further confirm the accuracy of these claims, 2 more reliable sources would be brought in the following day: Steve's son Ryan and Billy Burkhead. If anyone would be able to give proper insight into Steve's life, it would be these 2, as they were by far the closest people to Steve.
Clearly Rebecca was close too.
The case of your dad's passing, you're really the only next of kin that's maybe had a relationship with your dad, it sounds like?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he ever talk to you about Ina when you guys talked in the last year?
Yeah. He was talking about how he was getting a large sum of money.
Why did this man run his mouth so much?
She didn't really have a job and was like leeching off, you know.
Did Steve ever talk about leaving Ina?
All the time. Every day.
Seems like Ina was
about poisoning Steve
Okay.
And me. Because we're always together. And she didn't like that. And I don't know how much it was. It's supposed to be, it's way up there in the money. It was like 20-something million.
Like,
best thing you can do is
come on now. If the wife didn't do it, Somebody else would have did it because you talking too much. These people ain't seen that much money in their whole life, and they hear you about to get that in a couple days. Come on, bro. And you running your mouth too much, bro. Shut up. Like, that's what's wrong with people.
And don't look back.
37 million, I promise you, nobody is knowing I got that much money.
Every piece of information the detectives receive leads straight to Ina as the killer. It also makes sense why Ina hated Billy and Steve's son so much, as they knew far more information than she would have liked about the inheritance and her schemes to obtain it. These interviews wouldn't last long, as detectives got all the information they needed from the two and could directly confront Ina with it. But before leaving, they would break disturbing news to Ryan, which would make this case even more of a terrible tragedy.
So this inheritance now, I'm thinking that's the same thing we're thinking.
Hold on, before you pay for yet.
Man, how many more ads this video got?
Connect team, the one
I'm trying to get like you with all these ads.
Obviously, I don't know for sure, but by all accounts of looking at it, it looks like it's a scam. Looks like it's the letter has different fonts in it and things, and the fact that your dad had gone there several times to meet with some lawyer, never showed up to the airport.
That and all the emails that they tried to send back to the sender of those emails, it always came back undeliverable.
The inheritance was a scam. Steve had lived for the past 7 years under the impression that if he just patiently waited, living through his terrible living conditions, he would come out with more money than he could dream of and finally enjoy life. Even worse was that this very scam that stagnated his life for years may have been the cause of his very own death. With such a pity of a case, detectives would go on to interview a handful of other suspects in order to get as much information as they possibly could to help break down Ina's defense. And after multiple days of interviews, the day finally came to confront Ina with everything they've gathered. But despite all this evidence against her, officers knew they would have a hard time prosecuting Ina without a confession or incriminating statements, and that's exactly what they were determined to get. Inside this cut-down 1.5-hour interview, you'll see some of the most clever interrogation tactics I've ever shown on this channel.
We gonna see this.
Slowly dismantling Ina's story until all she has left is an incoherent string of lies.
So, like I said, we had been just talking to everyone, like Billy, Russ, everybody that kind of just knew Steve, just to get an idea of like what was going on in his life. So, you and Steve were in a relationship.
I don't know how. I wouldn't touch that.
13 years.
Okay. Where did you
13 years is crazy. I wouldn't touch that.
In
buffet dinner
in North Dakota?
Washington.
In Washington, okay.
The detectives would go on to get more information about Ina and Steve's early relationship, but it wouldn't last long before Ina would start conspiring against Billy and others she wanted to paint as suspects.
And I begged him to, stay away from him. We've even gotten into fights.
To stay away from Lynn?
Billy and Lynn. And
okay.
I don't like calling people nasty, and they've seen them worse than Steve because he's tall and mean looking. People were intimidated by him.
Okay.
Just by his look.
So why would you want...
Well, I'm intimidated by you, just by your look.
Felonies. Breaking into places. I knew they did more than pot. Smoking more than pot.
Did Steve smoke more than marijuana?
No, he's allergic to marijuana.
Okay.
I ain't never heard that. That's a first.
Not for the longest time.
Was he using?
No.
Okay. So
no.
He didn't.
After that, after he got the max the last time.
Yep.
He's like, screw this. Okay. I'm gonna just do what I want and want what I want.
Okay. So that's when he started using?
I think so.
Okay.
This would be the first of Ina's lies during this interrogation. She knew Steve had been using long before the incident she described, but in order to make Billy seem like the villain in their lives, she wanted to make it seem as though he was the reason for Steve's drug use. Take note of Ina's body language while she clearly lies. She glances up and avoids eye contact, constantly fidgets and scratches her skin, and most notably stutters and slurs on her speech as she tries to make up a story. Keep this in mind for the rest of the interrogation.
Terrible liar.
You'll be able to accurately point out when Ina isn't telling the truth. But now the police would ask her perhaps the most intriguing question. What exactly did she plan to do with the inheritance money?
So when did he find out about this inheritance?
I want to say 3 months ago, 4 months ago.
Okay. So what is the inheritance? I know you had shown that first day Lieutenant Dakinite came, you showed us kind of that letter that was on Steve's phone. Is that's the inheritance? That was the letter? Okay.
And he was talking to an actual lawyer, I guess.
Okay.
From London.
So this lawyer reached out to him and said he's...
I guess. I don't even know how he found out about it. It just appeared. And he was reading that the money wasn't cursed or whatever. Every single person that went for the Riley money over there, even this 21-year-old.
We've created
Man.
the best currency the world.
There's a lot of ass on this show, on this video, brother.
Big O.
And passed away.
Clearly, Ina is running out of resources to take suspicion off herself, and the detectives won't take long before making her abundantly aware of how horrible of a liar she is. But for now, they'd like to get some more information on this inheritance, and if Ina would admit to trying to claim it all for herself.
How much money was it?
It ended up, it was supposed to be 17 million. 17,500,000.
Man, you knew that exact number.
Be sold off.
Stop lying. You knew exactly what number it was.
So there was cash and then properties were sold.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I gave all the information
who was it supposed to be coming from? Who was the family member?
Marcus something Riley.
Was that a brother or
uncle?
That was an uncle. Okay. Did he live
in Ireland?
Okay. How does it get to, is it starting to be that the lawyer is starting to give him like a time that he's coming to Minot?
Yeah. That's pretty much when he kept saying, I'm going to show up at this time. And Steve would ride down there and he wasn't there. And then you get the email afterwards that he was going to come until later and then later.
Okay.
The detectives would spend the
That's
next
a red flag.
25 minutes trying to understand Ina's timeline for the day they planned to receive the inheritance. Whenever she gave a time for when the group went to the airport, she would conveniently change that time entirely, just a few minutes later. But one detail would stay the same. Unlike her original claims to officers on the day of the murder, she would insist that Steve had never gone to the airport, but rather Wes had gone instead to represent Steve. This was confusing, but Ina's reason as to why Steve couldn't make it to the airport would make just as little sense.
Because he was drinking beer all day, he was working in the garage, he was spray painting his truck, you know, with the doors and the windows closed, barely drinking any water.
So he consumed almost a case of beer in...
Oh, he can drink more than that.
Pay attention to Ina here. She's carefully crafting a story to deflect suspicion, but the detectives came prepared.
I've seen him drink a couple cases.
But on that day...
Yeah, it was a case of beer.
From probably 6 or 7 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, so 5 to 6 hours. Does that sound right?
Getting loaded. Straight lefty.
Okay. Did you drink anything else?
Just a glass of water and his tea. I made iced tea because he begged for iced tea.
Steve had no traces of alcohol in his system the day of his death, proven by a blood test and toxicology. So detectives know, clearly, Ina is lying through her teeth.
So I just have a lot of concerns here, okay, and I'm just going to be honest with you. You told the paramedics when they were there that morning or afternoon that he had been drinking till 5 in the morning, that he had been consuming alcohol. That's on body cam. Okay, you said he was drinking all day the day before and that he drank his last drink at 5 a.m. Okay, and now you're telling me
tea.
That's not what you say on this video, okay?
I want to see this video.
Okay, well, I'm not going to show you the body cam. I'm just telling you that that's what's on there. There's reports that Wes came to the house that morning and you said that Steve was at the walk-in clinic. He wasn't at the walk-in clinic.
Steve didn't want to see Wes anymore.
Okay, but Steve wasn't at the walk-in clinic.
He was at the hospital.
He wasn't at the hospital.
He just left with the ambulance when Wes showed up there.
That's not what's been reported to us. Wes was there.
Stop lying!
The timestamps prove that.
I want a lawyer.
Somebody beat her up.
Realizing she's running out of options to defend herself, and with the detectives closing in, Ina resorts to something surprisingly clever as a last-ditch effort, asking for a lawyer.
Am I being arrested?
Nope, you're not being arrested. We're just talking. So, but if you want a lawyer, we can stop talking right now. That's fine.
But I'm telling you the God honest truth. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I wish I was there. I wish I was there every single day that day. I wish I watched every single, but I'm not his goddamn mom.
Oh!
You asked for a lawyer.
Did somebody knock her out?
Okay, don't talk anymore. All right.
Pick that water bottle up and throw it at her head.
So unbelievable.
You are so unbelievable. Shut up. Nobody feels sorry for you.
The second Ina realized the detectives saw right through her story, she folded under the pressure and insisted
Folded like a chair.
Ina had finally realized
Popcorn
her day
face ass.
was over. Following this interrogation, Ina would roam free while detectives scrambled for concrete evidence that she had poisoned Steve. Ina would continue fighting for her innocence, making more deranged theories, such as Steve drinking the antifreeze out of shame that the lawyer was a fraud, or that she had too been poisoned just months prior. Unfortunately for her, police managed to file a search warrant on apartment 912A, finding multiple alarming items. An old Windex bottle without a cap, containing a bright green liquid suspected to be antifreeze, as well as a Coors Light bottle containing antifreeze, found in the garage Steve had been working in that morning. This exact Coors Light bottle was what Ina used to poison Steve with. Antifreeze contains ethylene glycol, an ingredient that makes the liquid taste sweet. By mixing this with tea, Steve was fully unable to tell this fatal substance apart from his typical morning tea. Additionally, by hiding the liquids in the dark Coors Light bottle, Steve was unable to see the bright green color of this drink. With all of this newfound, completely incriminating evidence, as well as the numerous lies and false claims Ina had told law enforcement, she would finally be arrested on October 30th, 2024.
Oh, this just happened.
I know. Please lock up my house.
Yeah, we'll lock up the house for you.
You won't be coming back to that house.
We'll lock your house up for you.
Why me?
So right.
You won't be coming back to that house.
We let you smoke a cigarette. You're gonna be decent.
Oh, I'm decent all the time.
I never
Don't give her a cigarette.
Never been arrested before like this. I've never done anything. I haven't done anything. It seems like I'm an easy scapegoat. Because all I am is an easy scapegoat.
Why is she built like that?
All I've ever been. If I was gonna kill him, I would have killed him the day he lied to me and I found out he was doing drugs.
Oh, that's a confession. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. I keep telling you, I gotta be careful what y'all say on these cameras.
Nobody out here to watch the dogs, just you? No
Look at
friends
her.
or anything?
Only one here.
Do you have any friends at work that would take them? We just don't want them to die in there, alright?
Why? How long are you holding me?
We don't know. So we'll have our officers grab the dogs. We'll put a hold on them, alright?
6 months following Ina's arrest, she would sit down in the courtroom for one final time, accepting a plea deal for the murder of Steve Riley. It had been a matter of principle for Ina throughout this entire investigation, staying true to her word no matter how delusional it sounded. But in this courtroom, Ina was left with no choice but to finally confess. Ina Thea Knoyer was charged with murder, intentional, knowing, or with extreme indifference of an adult victim. She was sentenced to life in prison.
Wow!
Her first chance at probation
Look at her.
would come in 2050.
Wow. Wow. She did all that for some money that wasn't even real. It's crazy, man. you're staying to the end of the video, man, throw me a like, man. Subscribe, feel me? Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video, man. Like I said, man, this is day one. 28-day marathon, feel me? I got a couple more reactions to do, man, so I'm gonna get it to on the next one, man. And like always, man, love all.